What's going on, GameLeapers? Welcome to another pointless video. We're going to be talking about the 15 most broken champions in Platinum and above for 13.7. And yeah, like I just said, man, this video is not going to do anything for you in terms of improving, bro. Like, I don't care if you're picking Teemo, jungle, or Rakan, top lane. It doesn't matter, man. Like, do you actually know how to play the role? Of course not, right? So if you actually want to play the game at a high level, guys, and just pick anything, like, it doesn't matter what's in this video, bro. Like, if you can play your role effectively, like AD carries, it's all about range, right? And keeping one champion in your auto attack range pretty much at all times and staying healthy while dealing the most damage, right? These are just concepts and kind of techniques, if you will, that we can teach you, and we have so many resources on our website at GameLeap.com that will help you to do just that. So stop being hard stuck, get unclamped, and yes, sign up to the website for exclusive access to our library of content uploaded to daily by challenger players and coaches from around the world. And let's get into the 15 most broken for 13.7 according to the stats. And yeah, in Platinum and above. Coming in at number 15, I'm kind of actually surprised by this, is Veigar in the mid lane. Now, I don't know what you guys are doing in lower elos. Like, are you guys picking stuff that's really bad against Veigar when you see him in champ select? Are you guys just forgetting that his cage kind of has like a longish cooldown and you should just play around that? Are you forgetting that he's absolutely dog turd because of the nerfs to his Q and W, like the AP ratios in this? Like, I don't get why he's on this list. Maybe it's because lots of champions at the moment are close range and Veigar, like especially in the bot lane, right? And Veigar does very well against them because of, yes, his event horizon, but I'm still pretty perplexed by this. If someone wants an explanation in the comments, like, just unleash, bro. Like, explain to me why Veigar, despite getting like some pretty big nerfs, is OP in Platinum and above. Now, a champion who I can actually believe is being good and OP at the moment is Fiora, coming in at number 14. And even in Platinum and above, where people might not get like the max juice out of this champion, she's still doing very well. Picked in over 33,000 games, and to have over a 50% win rate is definitely respectable, more respectable than Veigar. And I guess this patch as well with the new def stance, which is now giving you ability haste, which you probably appreciate more than it actually giving you more attack damage and armor, because you're still getting enough of those two stats. Getting ability haste now, reducing your cooldowns in the late game, that's just like really good for Fiora. And I'm guessing that's why her win rate has actually probably improved since 13.7 hit Summoner's Rift. Now, coming in at number 13, a champion whose, well, win rate hasn't really improved that much, but she has stayed at the S plus tier category, S plus tier level, this being Evelynn in the jungle. So if you guys want to go invis after level 6 and just make the enemy team tear their hair out and ban Evelynn for the rest of their lives, pick this champion. Really, really good though, guys, if you can pick Evelynn when you have like a lot of attack damage in your team, because if you have a lot of AP, well, your magic damage will just become less valuable, right? When you ideally want to pick Evelynn is when you do have an AD mid, particularly a strong early game mid laner, maybe something like a Pantheon, an Aurelia, Renekton top, these type of champions, because they can allow you to actually jungle properly without getting invaded and hard stomped, and yeah, scale into a game for free. So kind of important in terms of team compositions, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you're playing this in lower elos, you're gonna hard stomp regardless of what champions are picked, and because of the buffs, I think they were at the end of season 12 to Evelynn, she's really been here ever since. So unless she gets nerfed, I can see her being on this countdown indefinitely. And that might be the same for Darius as well, guys, a champion who's banned in 20% of games, but he's still played in close to 40,000, one of the highest for the top laners, if not the highest, and he's still an S plus tier champion. Darius, because he does so well into so many top laners, and that's really been the case since 12.10 hit the Rift, that durability meta, and yeah, extended fighting. That is what this Noxian general just loves. He loves it when the fights go long, because you get that Hemorrhage stacking, you get the Conqueror stacking, your DPS is unreal. Also with Ghost, the scaling this has as well into a game, 2 combat summoner spells. We could also talk about the TP change from last year as well. So there's a bunch of things here going for Darius, and a bit like Evelynn, unless this guy actually gets directly nerfed, I think he'll be on this list pretty much forever. Now, coming in at number 11, moving to the mid lane, this is Annie. So even though Annie got nerfed in 13.7, the good news for Annie in the mid lane is that your E doesn't really matter all too much. Yes, it will hit you, right? Like, as you actually start putting points in this, but it doesn't matter too much because you're all about, well, just maxing your Q first and getting off those one-shot combos. Your E doesn't really do much for you. So for Annie mains to be picked in close to 20,000 games and to still have close to a 53% win rate, this is the second highest win rate on this video. It's just kind of impressive, but yeah, also like OP. So I wouldn't be surprised if again in 13.8, Annie received more nerfs because of the stats that we're looking at. Now, the highest win rate, guys, on this video is coming in at number 10, and we're staying in the mid lane here, this being Anivia. So I know the Catalyst of Aeons now is 1300 gold. The point here is that Anivia is just incredibly broken, regardless of kind of then what happens to her items? Like if we think about Rise, right, he's actually kind of like fallen off because of the nerfs around him to his items. But Anivia, if you're going something like Leandries, you can go Everfrost, you can even go something like Crown of the Shattered Queen. You don't even have to go Rod of Ages. And yeah, once you actually do get Seraph Embrace, that's when the fun really begins on this champion. Also, Anivia is just so good against close range champions, right, running into her, a bit like Veigar in a way, maybe like a budget version. But yeah, she's just innately stronger because Veigar has copped so many nerfs recently. So Anivia, kind of the same thing, right? The meta at the moment is so good for her, and in the mid lane, there aren't many champions who are really scary for you. If someone's picking like Xerath or Vel'Koz, they're not really picked all too much, but yeah, I would just recommend banning one of those long-range artillery mages so you can actually play the game. Now, coming in at number 9, one of the best all-round champions in the game and all-round supports in the game is Rakan, and he's actually picked in over 12% of game series, like the most popular support at the moment, and to have over a 52.5% win rate, look at this for me, this is in over 64,000 games. It's actually kind of nuts. So if you guys aren't picking Rakan, like if you're a support player, you're going to be trolling, bro. Like this champion is clearly OP, and there's no doubt in my mind that he will get nerfed next patch if this keeps up. Now, staying in the bot lane, one of 3 AD carries on this list, this is Draven. So if you guys want to play a dominant early game AD carry, Draven's probably the pick here, right? Because, well, nothing is really going to stop you at the moment. Like Caitlyn got nerfed. What else is there? Like Samira really isn't as good as she was. Yes, her passive kind of got like semi-reverted and therefore buffed a few patches ago. But apart from that, like Draven is chilling. Like you're going to get out of the early game and get to the mid to late game super far ahead. And yeah, with the actual meta at the moment being engaged, that's what you really appreciate because you can land all of your abilities right and get more auto attacks off. So Draven being here, I think it just makes sense. He's banned in close to 20% of games, so obviously AD carries still feel as if this guy is a problem, and he certainly is. And staying in the bot lane, the second best support, guys, according to these stats in 13.7 is Milio. And this little kid, despite copping a bit of hot fixing, still has a very impressive win rate, close to 51%, and he's picked in over 14% of games and banned in over 24%, which means that in total, he's been picked in close to 75,000 matches, and it probably is that point by the time this video has been released. And I think it really just goes to show how strong he is because he gets countered by so many things. Like if you pick Blitzcrank into him or Nautilus like a hard engager, if you pick something that outranges him, like it's pretty much impossible to actually play the game as Milio. So if you pick something like a Vel'Koz, Zyra might be annoying. Senna is definitely better than Milio hard counters because you just outscale. So there are certain matchups that are really difficult. So for Milio to be number 7 on this countdown, he has to be OP. Now number 6 on this list, despite the recent nerfs to her, like directly, so we're talking about Zyra here to her Blade Caller to her E, hasn't really deterred Zyra. Like being picked in close to 100,000 matches and to have an 18.6% pick rate, 18.6% ban rate, you still got close to a 51% win rate. Like she's going to be picked and banned in MSI. I think there needs to be like a lot more AD carries either brought up to her level or Zyra just pushed down a little bit. She does so well into the meta, kind of like what I was saying for Anivia and Veigar. If something is running into you and engaging onto you, Zyra, that's where you thrive. That's what the meta is right now. So Zyra number 6. Number 5, an AD carry who doesn't actually really appreciate that too much is Jinx. But Jinx is so innately busted. Like picked in over 140,000 games, close to a 27% pick rate, and to have almost a 10% higher pick rate than Zyra and almost 0.5% a better win rate, like you're joking, mate. Like this champion, there's no way she's going into the MSI this strong. I think she will also get nerfed. The recent buffs, especially to her attack speed, right, have just pushed her over the edge. So I think she's definitely going to get nerfed. She's way too good at the moment with the Kraken Slayer and Infinity Edge spike as well. You know how it's 40% crit now, where you actually get the passive from Infinity Edge. It's too good on this champion, man. Also with bot lane at the moment, so many AD carries getting nerfed. The laning phase really is nowhere near as scary as it once was. So Jinx is chilling. She's number 5. Number 4. I don't know what's going on, maybe in like lower elos, maybe it's me being a little bit kind of ignorant here, but Aurelion Sol. Well, I don't think he's been gutted in recent patches, but he's been nerfed like that many times in a row now, and he's still broken apparently. So picked in over 32,000 games, he still has close to a 51% win rate, and he's just chilling at number 4 on this countdown. Like, I don't get it. Like, what's going on? Are you guys just like picking stuff that doesn't dumpster him in the early game? Are you guys like handshaking lane? Are you not putting any pressure on this guy? This is what I mean, by the way, guys, as well. Like, it doesn't matter who you pick into it. It's because people, like, in Platinum and above, can't play mid lane properly. That means that Aurelion Sol, who is super good into the mid to late game, and, you know, even when he gets rallies, right? This champion is oppressive, but he's oppressive because no one does anything to him. No one knows how to lane properly against a weaker opponent. No one knows how to actually, like, keep tempo and snowball from an early lead. So, of course, Caston, Aurelion Sol, Veigar, these scalers get to the mid to late game free of charge. That's why his win rate is still really good, but if you look in higher reloads, it's a lot worse than what it was. So Aurelion Sol being here, I can kind of understand it, but yeah, if you actually don't want to see him here, sign up to the website and actually learn how to play mid lane. Now, starting off the top 3, wow, what a toxic way, bro, to enter the top 3, but it's the truth. But yeah, coming in at number 3, this is the best support, guys, according to the stats. This is the Crank. Now, Blitzcrank has been here, man, for so long, I don't think I need to go into too much detail here, but yeah, he counters so much, right? Of course, there are hard engagers at the moment that do well into him, so if we talk about like maybe a Leona, Braum with the recent buffs to him, for sure, Alistair as well would be very good into the Crank, but most people aren't playing these champions. I also think, like, since last year, where they buffed his rocket grabs damage at level 1, so it's 100 damage, and also his ultimate base damage, I think that, yeah, because it's enhanced your one-shot potential, it's made Blitzcrank, because that is your identity, even better, right? So unless they actually nerf those stats, I think Blitz will be here, yeah, kind of like for ages. They're coming in at number 2, the best jungler in the game. This is J4 with a 52.75% win rate. In over 14% of matches, he's going to get nerfed. So all you J4 players, if you're playing for your father, the king, you are going to cop it next patch, mate. Like, there's no way this is going to be allowed into MSI. Just like I said, over a 14% pick rate, close to a 25% ban rate. To have this healthier win rate, like, he's gone, bro, next patch. But maybe the same could be said, guys, for this next champion, because this champion's ban rate is 32%. So he's picked in over 66,000 matches. And yes, this is the rock solid. This is Malphite in the top lane at 52.3% win rate. Like, you're joking, bro. So the buffs to his W recently, and of course you can actually max your W first, by the way, guys, especially if you're taking Grasp into a melee champion. Like, if you know you're going to proc your Grasp a lot and auto attack and, you know, go down to the wire, you're going to fist fight them a lot, you can actually think about maxing your W. And when you pair this with Frostfire Gauntlet, because you'll get that slow activating off your autos now when your W is going, man, like, it's so broken. So those were the 15 most broken champions, guys, of 13.7 according to the data that we have so far. Don't really agree with some of them, but hey, that's what the stats are telling us. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, let us know by leaving a like down below. I will see you in our next one. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Higgs. Peace.